Hey there, alligator. This morning I am feeling fairly sad and a little disheartened about how the American public is handling the Dr. Ford versus Kavanaugh debacle. And as a survivor of rape and other forms of sexual assault, I do want to give my perspective on this, although it may be an unpopular opinion with some. I feel that it is good to try to be rational and accepting of where people are in life, and I want to go deeper into that. So welcome to My Catholic Perspective. I am Allie Marie. So yesterday, I watched everything of Dr. Ford's opening statement, Brett Kavanaugh's opening statement, the questions, everything involved with what happened in the hearing yesterday. And there's a lot there. I am not saying that Dr. Ford is lying. I do think that indiscrepancies in what she's saying need to be accounted for. What's interesting to me is these protesters now who are angry at certain senators that will be voting for Brett Kavanaugh, like Jeff Flake, trending on Twitter. The protester that said, "You're telling all women that they don't matter, that they should just stay quiet, because if they tell you what happened, you are going to ignore them anyway." I don't feel like that is what happened here. I feel that Dr. Ford was fully heard out. I feel that she shared every aspect that she could about the encounter that she was describing. To those who are saying that she should remember more, I will say that in my instance of rape, I know everything that happened in the room, but I have no idea what we did before. I don't remember. I know that the guy was drunk, but I don't remember if I was hanging out with him before we went in there or not. I wasn't drinking at the time because I had gotten my tattoo and was committed to not drinking again until I was 21, and it was after the tattoo before I was 21, so I was not drinking. And, but I don't remember what we did before. I don't remember if I went over there after he was totally, like, drunk or what really happened. And that doesn't discount the experience. We do change as we grow, though. And I would not I don't hold it against him. I think that a lot of survivors do not ever get an apology, and it's up to us to acknowledge that these people can change. It's up to us to acknowledge that people aren't stagnant. So even if Brett Kavanaugh was guilty of this in high school, one of the protesters was mad that he wasn't taking responsibility and that he needs to take responsibility and then start to repair the things. But if he had been guilty and if he had taken responsibility, they would have insisted that he withdraw, not that he start the repair. He has over 60 women that he went to high school around and who knew him in high school that gave a character testament in his favor. He has plenty of people in the recent past. I mean, yesterday I was going to do my video, my Thursday Thoughts video on how I quit smoking. Because I used to smoke. I used to be promiscuous. I used to do all of these things, and yes, I've taken responsibility for them, but certain things come up that maybe I've forgotten about or that I don't think of on the forefront of my mind within that whole slew of stuff that I used to do, and it gets thrown in my face. And yes, I do have to take responsibility for those things, but that doesn't it doesn't mean that I'm not a different person now. And there could be something that somebody would accuse me of that I genuinely don't remember doing, and that I would have to say that it's possible that I did. But there are people in the world that have been good people for the majority of their lives that would not have done certain things that are a certain accusation. And since Brett Kavanaugh is a man, during this #MeToo movement, he has an underhand, apparently, with the leftist community. Apparently, if somebody accuses you of something, you are automatically guilty. I feel that Kavanaugh's response, Dr. Ford's opening statement, she wanted to be sure that her credentials were addressed. Where she got her undergraduate, where she got her master's, where she got her doctorate. She wanted to be sure that those things had been acknowledged. Brett Kavanaugh wanted to be sure that you knew all of the people that he has recently interacted with, and the people he knew in high school, the people who will attest to his good character. It was much more about, this is who I am as a person. Dr. Ford had none of that. Dr. Ford had none of the, I'm an honest person, this person can attest to it, this person can attest to it. Like, I have always been honest and on top of things, and there was none of that. Either she couldn't or she just didn't supply any of that information. I think it's very important information to have in a hearing like this. But to simply come out and say that because somebody had possibly done something that would be out of their current character, that they should step down. Like, I have had people tell me that I should stop producing videos because I haven't always been good, or I haven't always been Catholic, which I still mess up, and I'm very open about that. None of us are going to be perfect. But the fact of the matter is that Brett Kavanaugh has had a majority of women law clerks, and none of them have anything negative to say about his demeanor or his interactions with them. None of them have anything to say about a negative viewpoint of feeling threatened by him. And I think that that speaks huge. Personally, I take some issue with the fact that the people that Dr. Ford is saying that were at this party say that the party never happened. Her friend Leland saying that she has never met Brett Kavanaugh and does not know him. These pieces are critical in knowing who her interaction actually occurred with. The two other gentlemen that came forward that stated they think it was actually them who had assaulted her. But she states she is 100% confident that it was Brett Kavanaugh. Something here just isn't adding up. But even if Brett Kavanaugh was involved with this in high school, does not mean that it's who he is today. That is all about what the church is about. That is all about what life should be about, not holding grudges, allowing people to grow and become better people. Because there are a lot of things that a lot of people could hold against me, and I'm sure they still do, and that's fine. But it doesn't define me. It doesn't make me who I am today, because I used to be a totally different person. I don't believe that Brett Kavanaugh used to be a bad person. I just feel really sad that somebody's past is being held against them and trying to hold them back from a greater good. Because that is one of my bigger fears, that I've just screwed up so much in the past that there's no way that I could move forward and actually make an impact. There are other people I look at that have been good people their entire lives, and I can't speak on stuff like that. I can't speak on what it's like to be a virgin on your wedding night. I can't speak on different pieces of what it means to be a lifelong good Catholic. But I think that's a part of my ministry. I think that's a part of what I do. But to say that the people that support Brett Kavanaugh don't care about the women who have been sexually assaulted, who's saying don't come forward, if anything, this should just be a lesson. Come forward sooner. when the sexual assault happens, the moment you realize that you have been sexually assaulted, call the police, talk to somebody, go to court if you choose to prosecute. You need to take care of these things when they occur and not 36 years later, not 20 years later, not 10 years later. And I think that the awareness about sexual assault and what that looks like is so important. And that's a really critical part of this Me Too movement. But I also think that there is an extremely detrimental side to this Me Too movement. That it's, oh, this guy accidentally touched my butt, I was sexually assaulted. Or the Ariana Grande deal, where the tall man had his arm around her and accidentally was touching her side boob or whatever. And then everyone's like, oh, she was sexually assaulted. No, that was unintentional. I mean, no, it doesn't even make sense that he would intentionally do that. But because of the Me Too movement, because of everything that goes on in the media about people victimizing women and making men just people to fear, is totally going to cause a huge corruption and a huge issue in our society. And I'm totally on the side of Brett Kavanaugh in saying that this whole ordeal is a national disgrace. It should have been done behind closed doors. And then if it came forward that it was true, then take it to the public. Let them know, this is what happened, this is why I'm resigning, and here we go. I think that's all I have for today. It's kind of a Thursday thoughts, but it's more of a Friday feelings video today. I let my patrons know that I was going to be doing Friday feelings instead of Thursday thoughts, because I'm very sad that this has happened, and it is, if Brett Kavanaugh is truly innocent, he really should go after Dr. Ford for defamation of character. He should file the suit, because this whole ordeal is ridiculous. And if he can actually prove that it is a false accusation, there should be consequences on the other end. There was a man who posted on Twitter that said he was falsely accused of rape, and he had tape recorded his girlfriend that he was trying to break up with, saying that she said, if you break up with me, I'm going to call the police and tell them you raped me, and da-da-da-da-da. So he left, and sure enough, 15 minutes later, police showed up. And he said, I hit the record button in my pocket. If you let me pull out my phone, my recorder, I will play this clip for you that she threatened to falsely accuse me of raping her. So they did. He played it. They unhandcuffed him and let him go, and essentially just told her to leave him alone. And there should have been a consequence for her. There needs to be a consequence for false accusations like this, because men need to be protected too. I just think that there is so much joy to be found in both genders, in both values of what each body has to offer. So that's all. Know that you are loved very, very deeply. And always remember the prayer between the glory be and the beginning of the next mystery of, oh my Jesus, forgive us our sins, save us from the fires of hell, and lead all souls to heaven, especially those in greatest need of thy mercy. Because for all we know, that one in a special need for God's mercy is ourself. God bless, and until next time, Alistair and I will see you later, alligator.